Living Daylights, released in 1987, and is directed by John Glenn, who's behind such other James Bond films like A View to a Kill, Octopussy, For Your Eyes Only, and A License to Kill. Can you imagine a movie coming out with a title like Octopussy now? There's no way that would happen, right? And this film stars Timothy Dalton, Mariam Diabo, Joe Don Baker, Art Malik, Jerome Crabbe, and John RHYS-DAVIES. And this is going to be probably the shortest movie review I've ever done, because I have no idea what happened in this movie. James Bond is a British secret agent working for the MI6, working to protect a KGB officer who is turncoating from Russia named General Georgy Kuskov. And there's this blonde Russian dude who's like a discount Ivan Drago from the Rocky movies. He abducts the KGB agent, but it turns out the KGB agent is actually working for the KGB and was turning on the Great Britain. I don't know. So in order to regain the KGB agent, to get close to him, he gets close to his girlfriend, who is a cellist, and they fall in love? Guys, I'm so sorry. This movie was not interesting at all. Not a single part of it. Today, I feel like a terrible movie reviewer, because when you're reviewing a movie for a channel or for a publication, you're supposed to sit there, you're supposed to take notes, you're supposed to, dissect the film and pay attention. I wanted to do anything but watching this movie. After the opening credits sequence, I would rather watch anything else. Go ahead and put Dark Shadows on the screen. I would be more entertained by that. Don't worry, Dark Shadows is still my least favorite movie because I actually paid for that sumbitch. But what the hell is going on in here? The cold opening to the movie has 3 MI6 agents doing a skydiving stunt, and this is like a training exercise? Since when the fuck does James Bond need a training exercise? And what are they exercising? I'm more interested in that. And it makes the MI6 program just seem childish. 2 out of the 3 of these MI6 agents suck ass, not in a good way. One of them misses a landing by a mile and has to climb up the mountain. The other guy gets stuck in a tree, leaving him vulnerable for this rogue secret agent. I never found out where he was coming from, but then again, I wasn't really paying that much attention. But yeah, he's just shooting him and he's just dangling there. No! And the other secret agent is climbing up, and then the villain has the knife and he's gonna cut the rope and he goes, no! You know, like you do as a secret agent. Instead of like trying to find your footing so that you can grasp on to the mountain that you're climbing. And then Timothy Dalton gets in there and he kills the guy, and he had to jump out of a flying car, and then he landed on a yacht, and then he has sex with this random person. I don't know. Timothy Dalton, though, I will say, I like Timothy Dalton. He is a very charming person, which I think is why he was cast as James Bond. You see him come into a room, he has this square jaw, he has that little grin, and yeah, he could talk himself out of any situation. I just don't believe him as an action star, let alone the secret agent who's supposed to be the best secret agent that we have. And I know that this was his first attempt at being James Bond, so, maybe he'll grow into the role, but from what I remember, which is nothing, I don't remember him being that much outstanding in the next movie. To the point where James Bond films didn't happen for a while, until we got Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye, which is probably my favorite. I grew up in the 90s, so I'm a Pierce Brosnan James Bond guy. Even though I know those later films that he did, they were very ridiculous, but I still bought him as James Bond. Sean Connery, you gotta love. He was the original. He was the suave-looking dude. Roger Moore is when it started to become campy, but it was still charming in a way. Daniel Craig reinvented the entire character with his parkourian nature, which is badass. I even like George Lazenby's take on James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Very underrated James Bond film. Everyone forgets about it. But just talk about this movie that I'm supposed to be reviewing. Let's see, so they're in Britain, and then the guy, gets stolen away, even though it was his plan all along, and then they go to Russia, they're skiing, he's got the woman with them now, they're skiing, they actually ski down the cello chest, which, oh boy, the cello, my favorite instrument, for it to be defiled like this. And then, out of nowhere, we're in the Middle East, because we're trying to help the Middle Easterns get money and oil. Possibly? I don't fucking know. No, it was diamonds. Diamonds in here. That did get to a pretty cool climax in the cargo plane. The cargo bay door opens, and then the netting that's keeping all of the boxes together falls out, and the two are holding on. That's what I'll say I'll love about these old classic James Bond films, the practicality of all of these stunts, especially when they're in planes and they're doing skydiving. That's really cool to see. It is not enough to save this movie. This is terrible. This is like the worst movie I've reviewed in a very long time. I feel like this film was trying to be the last gasp in that Roger Moore, James Bondish era. Before we got to Pierce Brosnan and GoldenEye and a more realistic take, this one was trying to make itself seem cool and young and hipster. Because the blonde-haired Russian dude he carries around like a Walkman, and he chokes people out with the cord because it's super strong. He's playing some 80s music and you're like, okay, yeah, the kids are gonna love this. They're gonna come see it. And then in the MI6 headquarters, Q is working on new weapons and they have this stereo, you know, and they used to carry huge-ass stereos around with them. Well, apparently this one's a grenade launcher. It's called a ghetto blaster. And it just seems sad to me. That is perfect. That is what this movie is. This is your father, this is your grandfather, someone like in their late 50s, early 60s going into a club nowadays and trying to seem hip. They're trying to hit on women, they're trying to go out onto the dance floor, and it's just not working. You're trying to appeal to that younger crowd, you're trying to make yourself feel young, but really you just need to start embracing that you are getting old, you need to stop, or at least you need to take a break. Which of course they didn't do, because they did another one with Timothy Dalton a couple of years later called A License to Kill, and I don't remember that one either, and I'm sure it was just not good. I feel like a lazy-ass movie reviewer, but you know what? I'm gonna call it. So guys, in the end, The Living Daylights is dying at nighttime. I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care about this story. It doesn't seem like there are any stakes at all. And it's something that it's a situation I don't give a shit about. But you have to look at the positive here. This is a terrible rendition of James Bond. These people seem old and out of touch. So, yeah, give it a little break and then give us an amazing James Bond film in GoldenEye. Please, no one, you don't have to see this film. You are not missing anything. Hell, I even forgot it existed. I'm gonna give The Living Daylights half a Blu-ray.
No! No!
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and this film comes as a recommendation I would hope from like my #1 fan, and that is my wife, Tammy Snyder-Knutson. She is the love of my life. We have been together for 11 years. We've been married for 8, so yeah, you'd say that she'd know me, and she is really my biggest supporter of this YouTube channel, just in anything that I decide that I want to do. So yeah, she recommended this film. She absolutely loves it. It's a movie called Deception. This is one of Tammy's favorite movies. She is a music major, and when she was going into grad school, she took a film score class, and this film was one that they dissected. And she says that she absolutely loves the score of this film, the use of the score in this film. It's really about the score. Starring Bette Davis, released in the 1940s, somewhere around there. But it's about this cello player who's trying to perform this solo that this conductor is giving him. He's trying to perform it to the best of his ability. From what I remember, this movie is basically Whiplash before Whiplash, and not as intense. But it's the same concept where a teacher, a conductor, or a master is trying to teach the pupil, self-suffering, trying to beat their ego down a little bit before they can rise up and be magnificent in whatever they're performing. And I'm very interested to watch this again. Thank you very much, Tammy. I love you for suggesting this. So if any of you have any suggestions of films that you want me to review on this channel, please comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your comments there, and if I have access to the movie, I will watch it, review it, and I will give you a shout out here on my channel. So everyone, have you seen The Living Daylights? Did you remember it at all? If you did, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. If you didn't, just go on with your everyday life. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I post my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Deception. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.